The next morning, Gil wakes Gio up and tells her that if anyone asks, she should say she doesn't know him. When she asks why, he simply replies that it's better that way. Just then, the security guard opens the door. Gil signals Gio to stay quiet, and taking his advice, she tells the guard that she doesn't know him. Right after, Gil heads straight to an old neighborhood. When he finds the house he's looking for, he bangs on the door, calling for Ujin. The guy with the scar on his face steps out, his face swollen and bruised from a beating. Gil takes one look at him and asks, "So, your dad's back from prison?" Ujin, clearly fearful of his father, doesn't answer directly. Instead, he leads Gil somewhere else to talk. Gil sighs. "I couldn't sleep a wink last night." Ujin scoffs. "And why are you telling me that? I'm the one in worse shape here." Gil suddenly grabs his face. "I don't care," he says coldly. "And I swear I'll make it worse, so you'd better shut up." Then, narrowing his eyes, he asks, "Were you the one who locked me in?" Ujin smirks. "You should be thanking me for it instead." Gil doesn't react, just leans in slightly. "Don't tell anyone about this." Ujin hesitates before nodding. Satisfied, Gil pats the bruised side of his face. "Good," he comments, his tone light yet threatening. Then, with a smirk, he adds, "'Cause that's how things get screwed up real fast." Meanwhile, Gio was in the teacher's office. The incident could escalate into a bigger problem, the teacher tells her. Gio shrugs. "I'm fine, though." But the teacher shakes her head. "That doesn't mean we can just let it slide." Gio sighs. "My parents wouldn't complain either." She remembers the call from her mother. Her mom had sounded concerned, but not enough to call the police. Instead, she had said something along the lines of, "Gio's not the type to die on the street." Gio still couldn't tell if her mother trusted her that much or just didn't care. She had seemed far more worried when Seo ran away from home. That thought made Gio a little jealous. The teacher then tells her to rest at the nurse's office. Later, the girl from earlier confronts Unsu. "Did you lock Gio in there?" she asks bluntly. Unsu strongly denies it, and her friend believes her. But unknown to them, a third girl had been listening in on their conversation. Resting in the nurse's office, Gio thinks to herself that she'll deal with Unsu later. Besides, it wasn't that bad. Meanwhile, Unsu had come to check on her. In her sleep, Gio dreams of a fight happening somewhere. She moves closer to see what's going on and finds Gil mercilessly beating someone up. As she steps in a little further, she realizes that the guy getting hit is the one with the scar on his face. Then, suddenly, Ujin punches Gil, making his forehead bleed. But Gil barely reacts. Instead, he grabs Ujin by the collar and starts punching him down. Gio tries to stop Gil, calling out to him. He looks like he's about to say something, but then she wakes up. She sighs, thinking, "I keep having these strange dreams, but I don't even know who that other guy is." Then, she notices Giseong sitting beside her. Gio tells him, "I'm just annoyed about some things, my leg, Unsu." Hearing this, Giseong remembers something. Earlier, when he entered the nurse's office, he had run into Unsu. "You definitely didn't come in here because you were worried about Gio," he had said to her. Unsu, "And what if I did?" Giseong raised an eyebrow. "Are you?" Caught off guard, Unsu got flustered and quickly ran away. Back in the present, Giseong asks Gio, "If Unsu wanted to be friends with you, what would you do?" Gio scoffs. "That's ridiculous. I can't even imagine it." Then, she turns the question back at him. "Would you believe me if I said I wanted to go out with you?" Giseong immediately gets flustered, mumbling, "So, this is how Unsu must have felt." Gio continues. "Unsu has always hated me." Meanwhile, Unsu sits alone on the stairs, still embarrassed. In the next scene, we see the girl from earlier gossiping with others about the conversation she overheard from Unsu and her friend.